We all want to live longer, but what if we could add years to our life that were actually, good years, active, vibrant, healthy years? Today, we're going to dig into some really groundbreaking research that shows us the keys to not just a longer lifespan, but a longer health span. So let's just start with a really simple question.
What if you could add an entire decade, a full 10 years of healthy, disease-free time to your life? I know it sounds a little too good to be true, right? But a huge long-term study from Harvard University says it's absolutely within our grasp.
So the headline number from the first part of this research is just, wow. People who adopted 5 specific habits lived up to 14 years longer than those who didn't. But here's what's even crazier. A follow-up study found it's not just about adding more birthdays, it's about adding more healthy years, years free from major diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease.
All right, so what are these super powerful habits? Well, the researchers zeroed in on 5 core lifestyle factors that basically form the foundation for a long, healthy life. Let's break them down.
Okay, so here they are. First, a healthy diet. Pretty straightforward. Second, regular exercise. We're talking at least 30 minutes of activity that gets your heart pumping each day. Third, keeping a healthy body weight. Fourth, and this is a big one, no smoking. And fifth, if you drink, keeping your alcohol intake moderate. Get this, the study found that people who nailed at least 4 of these 5 things gained about a decade of disease-free life after they turned 50, a whole decade.
Let's really zoom in on that first key for a minute, our diet. It's one of the most fundamental things we can control. It's a choice we make multiple times every single day that shapes our long-term health.
And check this out. It doesn't have to be complicated. This is Harvard's Healthy Eating Plate. It's not about counting every single calorie, it's just a simple visual guide. You can see right away it's all about tons of colorful veggies and fruits, some whole grains, and healthy proteins. It's basically a blueprint you can use for every meal.
So the game plan is super simple. Make half your plate fruits and veggies. Go for whole grains like brown rice instead of the white refined stuff. For your protein, think fish, chicken, beans, nuts. Try to limit red meat and definitely processed stuff like bacon or deli meats. And what should you drink? Just stick with water, tea, or coffee. That's it. Super actionable stuff.
Okay, so diet, exercise, weight, not smoking, moderate drinking. These 5 keys are, without a doubt, incredibly powerful. But what if there's a 6th factor? One that's just as critical for our physical health, but one we almost never talk about when we talk about longevity.
Yep, it's our social connection, the strength of our friendships, our family bonds, our sense of being part of a community. It turns out, this isn't just some nice, fluffy thing for our mental health. It is a biological necessity for our physical health.
So that brings us to this overlooked 6th factor. Let's get into the science here, because it is absolutely fascinating. It shows why our social lives are every bit as important as our cholesterol levels or how often we hit the gym.
Okay, first, we got to get a key distinction straight. Loneliness is that feeling inside, that subjective sense that you're disconnected. You can feel lonely in a packed stadium. Social isolation, on the other hand, is the objective fact of being alone, having very few relationships or not seeing people often. They're different, but they're both really damaging to our health.
So why do we call connection medicine? Well, because a lack of connection acts like a chronic stressor on your body. It literally triggers biological pathways that can lead to disease. The evidence linking our social health to our physical health it's overwhelming.
Now just look at this direct comparison. It's kind of shocking. We all know the risks of obesity and smoking, right? We see them linked to diabetes, heart disease, cancer. But now look at the risks for low social connection. It's the exact same list: high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and a higher risk of dying prematurely.
And this isn't just a coincidence. Get this, a massive analysis of over 100 different trials found something incredible. Medical patients who got support to help strengthen their social connections had a 20% greater chance of survival compared to patients who only got the standard medical care. 20%!
And this quote right here just drives it home. Providing that social support was found to be just as effective at keeping people alive as many standard medical treatments, including getting people to stop smoking. Think about that for a second. Building connection is a medical intervention. It's not a soft skill, it's a survival tool.
So if social connection is this critical to our survival, we can't just leave it up to chance, right? This requires a really fundamental shift in how we think about health, moving beyond just our individual choices and toward building entire environments that help everyone connect.
This leads to this really powerful idea called a social in all policy approach. Basically, just like we consider how a new highway might affect public health, we also need to ask, how will it affect our social health? Does a new policy bring people together, or does it push them further apart?
And what does that actually look like in the real world? Well, it means things like designing our towns with public squares and walkable streets that encourage you to bump into your neighbors. It means investing in public transit so it's easy for people to see each other. It means funding community gardens, changing zoning laws to create vibrant neighborhoods, and opening up schools at night for community events. These aren't just city planning topics, they are public health strategies.
So this leaves us with a really big question to chew on. The science is crystal clear. To be truly healthy, we need more than just a good diet and a gym membership. We need connection. So the real challenge for all of us is, how do we start building a world that nourishes both our bodies and our bonds?
Because when you boil it all down, the data points to a really simple but profound truth. A longer, healthier life isn't just built in the kitchen or at the gym. It's built around the dinner table, in our neighborhoods, and in all those little moments we share with each other. A truly healthy future is, and has to be, a connected future.